In 1959, 9 experienced hikers entered the Ural Mountains and never made it out alive. Not in a storm anyone expected that silent night, not in a mistake they couldn't handle. What was found later, deep in the snow, didn't just confuse investigators, it terrified them. Their tent was cut open from the inside. In the freezing dark, something felt off, terribly wrong. Not opened, not damaged, but cut, as if escape was more important than survival, at any cost. Their bodies were scattered across the snow, far from where they should have been. Some without shoes, some barely dressed, some with injuries no human could explain. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass incident. A case so strange that even today, no one knows what really happened. But to understand the fear, you have to understand who they were. This wasn't an ordinary group. They were experienced, not amateurs, strong, trained for extreme conditions, trained to survive against the odds. They were led by Igor Dyatlov, a man they trusted, an expert hiker, a man who had already completed difficult expeditions. This wasn't their first journey. They'd been here before, many times. Their goal was simple, just a climb, reach the mountain alone and return. They planned carefully, everything set, precisely, packed what they needed, documented everything. At first, everything went according to plan, perfectly, until it wasn't. They moved steadily, step by step, forward through deep snow and freezing wind. They laughed, they took pictures, together, still smiling. Safe. Nothing seemed wrong yet. Everything looked normal. Until something changed. Suddenly, then. The weather grew worse, the wind became stronger. Snow fell harder, faster, thicker. Visibility completely disappeared. Direction became unclear. And the temperature kept dropping. Far below zero already. At some point, they made a decision, a turning point. They would set camp right there, on the slope of a mountain. Not in the forest, but out in the open. A decision that would cost them everything. That night, something happened. Something powerful enough beyond control to make 9 experienced hikers panic. Because what happened next defies logic, no explanation. Their tent was cut open from the inside, as if they didn't have time to escape normally. As if whatever scared them was already too close. They ran into the freezing night, barefoot, half-dressed, into temperatures below -20, but they didn't run randomly. No one does that. Without a reason, there had to be. No one leaves safety unless staying is worse. Much worse. When search teams arrived already over, they didn't find survivors. They found bodies not alive, frozen in unnatural positions, scattered across the snow as if they had been running in different directions. Their final moments were written in the snow. Every step told a story. The first 2 were found near a forest. The first, barefoot, wearing almost nothing exposed, frozen in place. Nearby, signs of a fire to still alive. Small, weak, fading, dying out. Not enough, though, to save them. Others were found farther away. They didn't stop, between the forest and the tent. As if they were trying to go back, but never made it. Step by step, until they collapsed. And then, came the most disturbing part. The last bodies were found months later, buried under snow. One had a fractured skull, another a crushed chest as if hit by something massive. Injuries so severe, they should have been instantly fatal. No one survives that. But there were no external wounds, no visible cause. No blood, no signs of attack, no evidence of anything. Just internal damage, as if something invisible had hit them with immense force and then disappeared. And one more detail made everything worse, far worse than anyone expected. Some of the bodies were missing their eyes, completely gone, without a trace. And one was missing her tongue, cut out or taken. No explanation, no logical answer. No evidence, no signs. Just silence, cold, endless silences. So what happened? What could have done this? Some say it was an avalanche, but the evidence doesn't support it. Others believe it was a military experiment, something powerful, something controlled, but nothing was ever confirmed. Some even suggest something not human, something unknown, because fear like this doesn't come from nothing. 9 people ran into death instead of staying safe. Think about that. They chose freezing over staying inside the tent. Whatever they saw was worse than dying. And that's what makes this case terrifying. Because we don't know what scared them. Over 60 years later, the mystery remains. No answers, no certainty. Just questions buried in the snow. And maybe the truth was never meant to be uncovered. And this wasn't the only time something was found without anyone inside. There was another case, far from the mountains, in the middle of the ocean. A ship, perfectly intact. Food still on the table, but no crew. No signs of struggle. No warning. And what was discovered there was just as unsettling.